Have you ever reached a point in life where you begin to question the energy you put into relationships and the time you spend with others? As we age, life takes on a different meaning. Time becomes more precious, relationships evolve, and solitude can feel like a source of peace rather than loneliness. At 65, I made a decision that many might not understand. I've learned to avoid people. It's not out of bitterness, but out of a deep understanding of what truly matters. My time, my peace, and the relationships that enrich my life. In this video, I'll share why stepping back from certain connections has been one of the most freeing decisions I've made. If you're wondering whether it's okay to focus more on yourself and choose who to keep close to, you'll want to stay until the end. By the end of this video, you'll have a new perspective on how to protect your energy, embrace the power of solitude, and truly invest in the relationships that bring value to your life. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. 1. Time feels more precious than ever. As I approach my 65th year, one truth has become undeniably clear. Time is no longer an endless resource. In our younger years, it often felt like time stretched on forever. We spent hours on conversations that lacked depth, engaged in relationships that never truly fulfilled us, and committed to obligations out of a sense of guilt or expectation. We thought we had all the time in the world to make changes, to start new ventures, or to revisit old dreams. But now, as I look back and reflect, I realize that time is no longer something to take for granted. Each moment feels like a precious gift, and it's no longer something I'm willing to waste. This awareness doesn't stem from fear or anxiety. It comes from wisdom, a deep understanding that as the years pass, the value of each fleeting moment becomes all the more apparent. Time isn't just a number ticking away on a clock anymore. It has become the foundation upon which I build my life, shaping my decisions, my priorities, and my actions. I've learned that every sunrise holds a special kind of vibrancy. Every encounter with someone I truly care about feels richer and more profound. Even the quiet, seemingly insignificant moments, like savoring a cup of coffee in the morning or strolling through a peaceful park, hold meaning that I never truly appreciated before. These moments have become milestones in their own right, a reminder that life is not just about the big events, but about the small, everyday moments that, when given attention, make life feel whole and worthwhile. One of the most powerful lessons I've learned over time is that not everyone and everything deserves a place in my life. This realization is not rooted in selfishness but in practicality and wisdom. As we grow older, we gain a clearer sense of what truly matters. And sometimes, it's necessary to step back and ask ourselves some hard questions. Is this situation or relationship worth my time and energy? Does it bring me joy? Does it align with the person I want to be? If the answer is no, I've learned to walk away. I've come to understand that spending my time on things or people that don't serve my well-being is, in a way, stealing precious moments from what truly matters to me. One way I've embraced this perspective is by simplifying my relationships. I no longer feel the need to accept every invitation or engage in superficial conversations just to be polite or avoid disappointing others. Instead, I focus on cultivating deeper, more meaningful connections. Those with people who value my time just as much as I do theirs. I now seek out relationships where I can be authentic, where mutual respect and understanding are present. A heartfelt conversation over a cup of tea, where both parties are present and engaged, holds more significance than a large gathering where I feel like a stranger in the crowd. This isn't about withdrawing from the world. It's about honoring my time and my life by surrounding myself with people and experiences that bring real value. Time has become like a trusted companion, reminding me to slow down and savor the moments I once rushed through. It whispers to me that every choice I make matters, that I can't afford to scatter my energy across things that won't bring fulfillment. It encourages me to choose with intention and to honor the present because the future will inevitably be shaped by the decisions I make today. It reassures me that it's okay to let go of things, people, and habits that no longer serve me, without guilt or regret. Letting go is sometimes the most liberating choice I can make. If you're at a similar stage in life, wrestling with these thoughts and realizations, I want you to know you're not alone. There's no blueprint or handbook for how to navigate this time of life, no guide on how to manage the preciousness of time as it becomes more limited. But here's what I've learned. The key isn't about how much time we have left, but how we choose to fill it. Time is not an endless stream, but a treasure, one that deserves to be protected fiercely. Fill it with purpose, peace, and the company of those who truly lift you. Once you begin to treat time as the precious gift it is, you'll find that your entire life shifts, becoming more meaningful, more intentional, and ultimately, more fulfilling. 2. Relationships change, and so do we. As time passes, relationships change, and so do we. At 65, I've come to accept a difficult but undeniable truth. Not every relationship is meant to last forever, and that's perfectly okay. It's not a sign of failure or a reflection of your worth. It's simply a part of life's natural progression. When I was younger, I had a different understanding. I believed that relationships required constant effort to survive. I made sure to remember every birthday, attend every social event, and reach out to others even when I felt emotionally and physically exhausted. I thought that being available to everyone, at any time, was what made me a good friend, neighbor, or family member. I took pride in being there for others, even at the expense of my well-being. But over time, I began to see things differently. Not all relationships are equal, I learned. Some are nourishing and life-affirming, lifting you and encouraging you to grow. Others, though, can be draining and exhausting, leaving you feeling depleted and emotionally spent. This realization didn't come all at once. It took years of life experience, some joyful and others painful, to understand it fully. I've been hurt by people I trusted, let down by those I depended on, and even grown distant from family members whose lives simply no longer intertwined with mine. For a long time, I took these losses personally. I wondered, what did I do wrong? Could I have done more? Was I not enough? But now, I see the situation differently. People change, and I've changed too. Sometimes, the kindest and healthiest thing you can do for both yourself and others is to let go. One of the most liberating lessons I've learned in my life is to focus on the relationships that feel truly mutual. A healthy relationship isn't about giving endlessly without receiving in return. It's about balance and reciprocity. Does this person support you as much as you support them? Do they listen to you with the same care that they expect from you? Do they bring joy, energy, and light into your life, or do they drain it away? As I've grown older, my circle of close connections has naturally grown smaller, but what remains is richer, deeper, and more meaningful than I could have imagined when I was younger. The people who remain in my life now, whether friends or family, are the ones who truly matter. They are the ones who understand me, accept me, and bring happiness into my days. I no longer feel the need to pour energy into maintaining connections that no longer align with who I am or the direction in which I'm headed. That doesn't mean I don't sometimes feel nostalgic. There are moments when I think about the friends I've lost touch with or the family members whose paths have taken different directions. But instead of feeling regret, I feel a deep sense of gratitude. Those relationships shaped me in ways I'll never forget. They taught me valuable lessons, gave me experiences I'll always cherish, and enriched my life in ways that continue to resonate, even if they no longer play a role in my present life. So, here's my advice. Don't hold on to relationships out of guilt or a sense of obligation. Relationships, like life, are meant to evolve. Focus on the ones that bring you peace, joy, and authenticity, and let go of those that no longer positively serve you. By doing so, you'll find yourself surrounded by love, connection, and authenticity, the kinds of relationships that truly make life worth living. And in the end, it's those relationships, the ones that are grounded in mutual respect and understanding, that will sustain and uplift you as you continue your journey. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 3. Trust becomes more complex. Trust is one of the most fragile yet fundamental aspects of any meaningful relationship. At 65, I've come to realize that trust is no longer something I can give away lightly. It has become a precious and delicate bond, and when that bond is broken, it leaves scars that can take years, sometimes an entire lifetime, to heal. When I was younger, I gave my trust freely and without hesitation. I believed in the inherent goodness of people and assumed that their intentions were just as sincere as mine. I offered my heart, my time, and my loyalty without second thoughts, and while this openness led to many beautiful and fulfilling relationships, it also opened the door to heartbreaks and disappointments. As the years have passed, I've been let down by people I never imagined would betray my trust. There was a friend who valued what I could do for them far more than who I was as a person. A family member whose decisions and actions created an unbridgeable distance between us. And even a colleague who, in the end, was more focused on their gain than on our shared goals and vision. Each of these experiences changed my perception of trust and reshaped the way I approach relationships. They didn't make me bitter or jaded, but they did make me more cautious and discerning. Now, when someone new enters my life, my initial instinct isn't to wonder, how can I connect with this person? But rather, what are their true intentions? It's not an easy way to live, but in many ways, it's become a necessary one. And yet, through it all, I've come to understand that trust isn't just about other people. It's also about trusting yourself. Over the years, I've learned that instincts are some of the most valuable lessons life has taught me. If something doesn't feel right, I no longer dismiss it as paranoia or overthinking. I've walked away from relationships, even long-standing ones, that no longer served my well-being. I've learned that protecting my peace is worth the difficult decision to let go. It's not always easy to walk away from people or situations that once mattered, but it has taught me that my inner peace is something worth guarding. That said, trust is still possible, but it's different now. There are still moments when people surprise me in the best possible way. A kind stranger who takes the time to help when you least expect it, a neighbor who checks in to make sure you're okay during a storm, or a simple act of kindness that restores a small bit of faith in humanity. These moments remind me that while trust is fragile, it's not impossible to rebuild. The key to it all is balance. Trust isn't about leaving yourself open to everyone. It's about knowing when and where to set boundaries. It's about giving trust gradually, earned over time, to those who consistently prove themselves worthy of it. It's about choosing to keep your circle small and surrounding yourself with people who show kindness, respect, and a consistent willingness to show up for you. So if you find yourself feeling more guarded as you age, know that it's okay. It's not a sign that you're closing yourself off or giving up on relationships. It's a form of self-care and self-respect. It means you are valuing yourself enough to be selective about who you allow into your life. And in this stage of life, that's exactly how it should be. For the world has changed. At 65, it's hard not to notice the vast changes that have taken place in the world. Life feels faster, busier, and more driven by technology than it ever did before. And while there have been many advancements that have brought convenience and ease, I can't help but feel that something valuable has been lost in the process. The warmth, the simplicity, and the genuine connections that once defined so much of life. I grew up in a time when relationships felt real, when neighbors weren't just people who lived nearby but were true friends. We would drop by one another's homes unannounced, sharing coffee, swapping stories, and enjoying laughter together. Families gathered regularly, not out of obligation, but because they genuinely wanted to be together. Time spent with loved ones felt natural, meaningful, and unhurried. But now, things are different. People seem more focused on chasing success, managing endless tasks, and keeping up with the relentless pace of modern life. Conversations, which once held depth and meaning, have become fragmented, brief exchanges squeezed into the cracks between notifications and other distractions. Even family time, which once felt like a sanctuary of connection, now often feels strained. The physical distance between loved ones and the competing demands of busy schedules make it harder to find that time to simply be together. Technology, for all its conveniences, has played a significant role in this shift. While it has made life more efficient and connected in some ways, it's also created an environment where true human connection can sometimes feel distant, superficial, and fleeting. Amid all these changes, I find myself reflecting on how things used to be, and in doing so, I'm reminded of the value of what we've lost along the way. Relationships, when nurtured and invested in, are the fabric of life. And as much as the world moves forward, I believe that the true essence of connection is still something we can seek out and hold on to, even in the most challenging times. I truly cherish the ability to video call my grandchildren or reconnect with an old friend through social media. These technological tools undoubtedly make life more convenient, allowing us to bridge distances with ease. However, they also create invisible barriers. There's something irreplaceable about sitting across from someone in person, feeling their presence, hearing their voice unfiltered by the barrier of a screen. In those moments, you don't just hear the words. You sense the emotion, the energy, the connection. And sometimes, I find myself missing the simplicity of just being together without the constant interruptions of modern life. The hum of technology, though a gift in many ways, can also be overwhelming. The endless notifications, the constant updates, and the ceaseless flow of news can make the world seem louder than ever. Paradoxically, despite all the ways we can stay connected, many of us end up feeling more isolated than before. It's a strange reality. Technology has opened the doors to more communication, yet the deeper, more meaningful connections often feel more distant. This isn't about resisting change or longing for a time that's gone. Every era presents its unique challenges, and every generation adapts in its own way. But at 65, I find myself embracing simplicity more than ever. I find comfort in stepping away from the noise and focusing on the things that truly matter. Heartfelt conversations, genuine relationships, and the quiet joy of shared moments. If you resonate with this, know that it's okay to slow down. Choosing simplicity isn't about rejecting the advances of modern life. It's about being intentional with where I place my energy. By stepping back from the constant rush, I can protect the parts of life that feel authentic. In this fast-paced world, seeking simplicity isn't about giving up. It's about holding on to the things that matter most. Solitude is not the same as loneliness. Over time, I've come to realize that solitude and loneliness are two entirely different experiences, and understanding this distinction has been one of the most liberating lessons of my life. Loneliness is an ache, a deep feeling of emptiness that stems from longing for connection. Solitude, however, is a conscious choice, a space for peace, reflection, and renewal. It's not something to be feared, but something to be embraced. In solitude, I've found a clarity that is hard to come by in the rush and noise of daily life. There's a profound beauty in simple, quiet moments, like sitting on the porch with a warm cup of tea, listening to the wind rustling through the trees, or watching the sun slowly sink below the horizon. These experiences don't just pass the time, they enrich it. They remind me of the small, often overlooked joys that life has to offer. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. As I reflect on the past, these quiet moments of solitude have become a source of comfort. Instead of focusing on mistakes or missed opportunities, I now center my thoughts on the lessons I've learned and the memories that bring me happiness. Solitude offers a space for introspection, a chance to make peace with the life I've lived and find gratitude for the person I've become. This doesn't mean I've distanced myself from others. Solitude has helped me appreciate my relationships more deeply. It's allowed me to focus on the connections that truly matter, rather than maintaining relationships out of obligation or habit. When I spend time with loved ones, I'm truly present, savoring the moments we share. Solitude has also taught me the importance of valuing myself. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that your worth is defined by the number of people around you or the social events you attend, but the truth is, your value comes from within, from knowing who you are and what truly matters to you. If you've ever feared being alone, I encourage you to reconsider that perspective. Solitude is not a punishment. It's a gift. It offers you the opportunity to hear your thoughts, to focus on what brings you peace, and to reconnect with yourself. The more you embrace solitude, the more you'll realize it can be a source of strength and clarity. In the quiet of solitude, you can find balance and joy. You can let go of distractions and pressures and focus on the life you truly want to live. Solitude is not about isolation. It's about intentionality. In those moments of stillness, you may discover a deeper sense of fulfillment than you ever thought possible. As for why I avoid people now, it's not out of bitterness or resentment. It's about protecting my peace. Over the years, I've come to understand that not every connection is worth maintaining, and not every social obligation deserves my time and energy. This realization didn't come easily, but it has been one of the most important lessons I've learned. For much of my younger years, I believed in always being available. I wanted to be the person others could count on, a reliable friend, a helpful neighbor, and a supportive family member. And while that brought me joy for a time, it also left me feeling drained. I gave too much of myself to relationships that weren't reciprocal and situations that didn't align with my values. Life, however, has a way of teaching us where to draw the line, even if it takes decades. There have been times when my kindness was taken for granted, when my time was treated as if it had no value. I ignored red flags, thinking that loyalty meant staying, even when it chipped away at my happiness. But now, I see things differently. I've learned that avoiding certain people isn't an act of selfishness. It's an act of self-preservation. There's peace in stepping away from toxic relationships and letting go of obligations that no longer serve me. It's not about rejecting others, but about protecting my well-being and choosing to invest in the relationships that bring me joy and fulfillment. I've traded the constant noise of social obligations for the peaceful, fulfilling quiet of solitude. Rather than overextending myself and trying to be everything to everyone, I've chosen to nurture a smaller, more meaningful circle of relationships. Connections that light up my life and nourish my spirit. This decision doesn't mean I've shut myself off entirely. Rather, it's about focusing on those who genuinely care, not those who expect something from me in return. The relationships I cherish now are grounded in mutual respect and understanding, and they feel effortless in the best possible way. There's no drama, no competition, just authentic connection. I've also learned to avoid those who bring negativity into my life. People who thrive on drama, constantly complain, or are never interested in how I'm doing. They no longer have a place in my world. Over time, I've realized that it's crucial to prioritize my own well-being, even if it means saying no more often or opting for solitude over social gatherings. Choosing peace over people-pleasing has brought me clarity and comfort. This choice to step back from certain relationships isn't about rejecting humanity. It's about recognizing my worth and protecting my inner peace. It's about selecting connections that uplift me rather than drain me, and seeking moments that truly matter. Life is simply too short to invest in what doesn't bring joy, and by making this conscious decision, I've discovered a sense of freedom and contentment I never knew was possible. I often wonder, though, if this is a shared experience. Have you ever found yourself questioning, am I the only one who feels this way? As I've gotten older, I've asked myself that very question time and again, especially as I've become more selective about the people I allow into my life. But the more I engage with others, the more I realize this isn't just my journey. It's something many of us are going through. Life has a way of teaching us tough but essential lessons about relationships, boundaries, and self-worth. For decades, I tried to be everything to everyone. I wanted to be the reliable friend, the supportive family member, the neighbor who was always available. But somewhere along the way, I came to understand the true cost of those efforts. I was giving so much to others that I had little energy or time left for myself. As I've connected with others, I've noticed a recurring theme. Many of us eventually reach a point where we stop feeling the need to be everything to everyone. We start choosing depth over breadth in our relationships. The superficial ties that once seemed vital in our younger years no longer hold the same appeal. What we truly seek now are deep conversations, shared laughter, and relationships that feel authentic and nurturing. This shift is not always easy. Sometimes it feels as though you're letting go of parts of yourself. Saying no to people who once relied on you can feel selfish, but in truth, it's self-care. We can't be everything to everyone, and trying to do so only leaves us feeling exhausted and resentful. By stepping back from draining relationships, we create space for connections that actually nourish and replenish us. And the beautiful truth is, you're not alone in this. Many people in their 60s, 70s, and beyond are making similar choices. It's not about pushing others away. It's about creating room for peace, clarity, and true connection. It's about choosing to prioritize your well-being and focusing on what truly matters. If you've started distancing yourself from relationships that no longer bring you joy or fulfillment, know that this isn't a sign of something wrong. It's a sign of growth and evolution. It's a recognition that your time and energy are precious, and you're learning to value them more. Letting go of what doesn't serve you opens up the space for deeper, more meaningful relationships to flourish. This phase of life isn't about the number of people in your corner. It's about the quality of those connections. If this resonates with you, take comfort in knowing that you are not alone. Together, we're embracing a life that's simpler, more fulfilling, and unapologetically true to ourselves. And remember, this chapter of life isn't about endings. It's about new beginnings. Each chapter brings its lessons, its challenges, and its joys. At 65, I've realized that this phase is less about proving myself to others and more about embracing who I've become. It's about shedding what no longer serves me and focusing on what truly matters. There's a certain freedom that comes with the realization of where we are in life. When we're younger, we often find ourselves living with a sense of urgency. We rush from one goal to the next, driven by the constant pressure to achieve, to do more, to meet expectations, and to prove ourselves. We chase the belief that the future holds endless possibilities, thinking that the more we do, the more we'll unlock. But as time passes and we move through the years, something shifts. We begin to understand that the present, the now, is where life truly unfolds. We realize that the future, while important, is built on the foundation of today. This chapter of life is a beautiful one, a time to embrace simplicity. In this stage, it's not about striving for more or pushing harder. It's about finding joy in the little things. It's about savoring the moments that many overlook, the way the soft morning sunlight pours through the window, the sound of laughter shared with friends or loved ones, or the comfort of settling into your favorite chair with a warm drink in hand. These moments, though small, are rich with meaning. They hold a depth that's often difficult to put into words, yet they are the essence of what makes life truly fulfilling. They remind us that life's treasures are often hidden in its most simple and quiet pleasures. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. This period of life is also an opportunity for deep reflection. When I look back, I see my life as a complex tapestry, woven with both light and dark threads. Some experiences were beautiful, others painful, but each one has contributed to the person I am today. Every triumph, every failure, every heartache has shaped my journey, and I have come to understand that all these experiences, even the challenging ones, have served a purpose. Reflection gives me the chance to honor these experiences, to appreciate the lessons they offered, and to understand that I don't need to cling to them. The past has shaped me, but it does not define me. It's not about living in the past. It's about appreciating the lessons it has given me. It's about using those lessons as stepping stones, as a guide for living fully in the present and with hope for the future. This chapter isn't just about looking back at what has been. It's also about looking forward with quiet excitement. There's still time to create, to learn, to grow. Whether it's experimenting with a new hobby, nurturing a garden, or simply taking the time to pause and truly appreciate the beauty of the moment, this stage of life is filled with new possibilities that are uniquely ours to embrace. What truly makes this chapter of life beautiful, however, is the freedom it brings. It's the freedom to say no to the things that drain our energy and yes to those that bring us peace and joy. It's the courage to live authentically, to be ourselves without fear of judgment or the constant pressure to meet the expectations of others. And it's the profound realization that simply being who we are is enough. In this space, we learn that our worth is not measured by our productivity or by how much we achieve, but by the quality of the moments we experience and the peace we cultivate within ourselves. If you find yourself in this stage of life, I encourage you to embrace it fully. Let go of the noise and the rush. Allow yourself to focus on what truly matters. The things that bring you joy, the relationships that nourish you, and the quiet, peaceful moments that soothe your soul. Life doesn't have to be perfect to be meaningful. It defines the imperfections that make it beautiful. Sometimes, the most fulfilling and peaceful moments come not from constantly chasing after the next thing, but from stopping to appreciate what we already have. This chapter is ours to write, and it's up to us to make it one of simplicity, gratitude, and true happiness. We don't have to measure our lives by a checklist of accomplishments. Instead, we can choose to live with intention and mindfulness. We can choose to embrace the beauty in the simple things and allow them to fill us with contentment. In closing, I want to address the idea of avoiding certain people or situations at this stage of life. This isn't about shutting the world out or becoming isolated. It's about protecting the peace we've worked so hard to find. Life at 65, or any age where you feel you've come into your own, is an opportunity to focus on what truly matters. The relationships that bring us joy and fulfillment, the moments that make us feel alive, and the sense of inner calm that comes from living authentically. It's not about bitterness or regret. It's about living intentionally. This stage of life is a time to let go of toxic connections, unnecessary obligations, and the weight of trying to meet everyone else's expectations. Instead, it's a time to embrace simplicity, authenticity, and gratitude for the life we've built. The journey up to this point has been filled with lessons, some painful, some beautiful, but all of them have been valuable. They have led us to a place of clarity and fulfillment, where we can make choices that honor our peace and well-being. If you've been feeling the same way, know that it's okay to choose peace over chaos. It's okay to prioritize your happiness and well-being. Life's true richness doesn't come from the quantity of our commitments or the busyness of our schedules, but from the quality of our days, the moments we savor, the love we give, and the joy we find in simply being present. Let this be the chapter where we live boldly, love deeply, and savor every moment, knowing that life's greatest treasures often come in the simplest forms. Thank you for joining us in this inspiring journey. I hope today's message has encouraged you to reflect, grow, and embrace the power of God's love in your life. What have you learned so far? What is one thing from this video that you will bring into practice in your daily life? Please share your thoughts and insights in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave your comments, like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more uplifting content. Your support helps us spread messages of hope, faith, and encouragement. Stay blessed, and see you in the next video.